Hey everybody, it's GombletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today I'll be playing another early access draft of March of the Machines, so thank you very much to Wizards of the Coast for providing me with this early access account. Without further ado, let's get into this draft of the brand new format. Alright, here we are for our pack 1 pick 1, and we've got a super sweet battle rare right now. The Invasion of Segovia. This is a 3 mana, 4 defense battle. When it enters the battlefield, you get to create 2 1/1 Krakens with Trample. So it's going to give you the creatures that you need to start attacking this battle and attempting to flip it. If you do get it to flip, you're going to get a 3/3 that gives all of your non-creature spells Convoke and untaps 4 of your creatures during your end step every turn. So really nice card. I like Invasion of Segovia a lot, and that's what I'm going to roll with here. We also have Nord's Inquisitor out of the uncommons that's super good, and Wrath Weatherlight Stalwart out of the Multiverse Legends. As you can see, this is a really high rarity format. We have 5 uncommons in this pack and a rare, so pretty powerful pack there. But we'll take Invasion of Segovia. I think the Convoke decks are really nice, and this one is a great way to both enable Convoke cards by getting a couple 1/1s and to pay you off for having a lot of them, because with a wide board state of creatures, you're going to be flipping this a lot more easily. So pack 1 pick 2 now, we have Captive Weird, which is pretty nice for a blue-red deck. It's even good in just mono blue. 1 mana for a 1/3. For 3 mana, we can flip it into a 3/3 if we pay 2 life, or we can spend 4 mana, one of which is red, to flip it into that 3/3, and when we do, we get to exile the top card of your library, and we can play it until the end of our next turn, so it gives us a nice little impulse draw there, so good little piece of card advantage. Do like me the Captive Weird. I think I'll roll with that here. Invasion of Ikoria does seem pretty good as well, though, for maybe a blue-green battle kind of deck, but this is kind of slow. So for double green and X, you search your library for any creature with mana value X or less. It has to be a non-human, but still, any creature you want, really good late game. And if you can beat this battle, you're going to get a massive 8/8 Solorthus, so this might be fun enough. You know what? Let's go with 2 invasions to start it off. 2 battles. Invasion of Segovia and Invasion of Ikoria will get us started this draft. Now for pack 1 pick 3, we could take another battle, Invasion of Belenon in white. This is one of the better battles for the same reason that Invasion of Segovia and Invasion of Ikoria are good, in that they're going to put a creature on our board that we can then use to attack the battle in the future. That being said, this would be dipping our toe into a 3rd color. And when there's pretty powerful on-color stuff, I don't think I need to do that right now. We can just take a Captive Weird that I was considering taking last pack, or a Finn the Fangbearer 1/3 Death Toucher with some bonus text there. Pretty solid card from Kaldheim, getting the reprint in the Multiverse Legends slot. There's also Eyes of Gitaxias, which I like. Basically 5 mana for a 3/3 and draw a card at worst, and you can split that mana out however you want. You have to spend the 3 up front, but then the final 2 you can do later to flip it. I'm going to take this Captive Weird. I think it's a pretty fun, pretty solid little card draw spell. Alright, just take a bunch of battles to start it off. Now we can take Invasion of Vryn. 4 mana for a sorcery that draws 3 cards, then discards a card, essentially. And the rest is just gravy. We don't have to flip it for that to be a decent deal, a decent card draw spell. So I like Invasion of Vryn here. The only other option really is Oculus Whelp, if we're going blue-green. And this can be pretty good in the color pair if you have some good transformed permanents. One thing that's nice about this card that makes it pretty consistent is the incubator tokens that you get that are... do I have any incubate cards in this pack? No. Well, there are incubate cards in this format that hit the board as just artifacts, then you spend 2 mana to flip them into creatures. Those count as transformed permanents, so you can have transformed tokens as well. So Oculus Whelp actually pretty consistently does draw you a card when it dies, so I think it's not bad at all. Alright, here's an excellent removal spell for this kind of deck. Cosmic Hunger is green's best removal at common. An instant speed card that lets any creature we control deal damage equal to its power to any other creature or planeswalker, or, and this is a key part, we can choose to deal damage to a battle with this as well. So even if our opponent's doing a really good job defending our battles from us, we can still shoot them directly and flip them over. So being able to flip an Invasion of Ikoria if we have a 6-power creature on board seems like a pretty good deal. Get that 8/8 reach, so definitely take a Cosmic Hunger there. For pack 1 pick 6, I actually like Ral's Reinforcements a ton. This card has been a huge overperformer. Great with Convoke and great with Sacrifice effects. It is off color with what I'm doing right now, but it's really good with Invasion of Segovia if we go for blue-red Convoke. And I don't think Bonded Herd Beast is super exciting because it's just a big, expensive, powerful card, and I think there's a lot of those in the format for just big late game plays. Lots of rares for sure are like big high mana cost, super powerful cards. So we'll take the better early game play in case we get pushed towards that direction. Iridescent Blade Master seems fine. Nice early game creature to have something to attack our battles with. Take it over the Herd Beast again, because I think the later drops are more replaceable. Protocol Knight's really good for like the blue-white Knights deck. You want another Knight on board, but then you tap something down and keep it tapped for a turn. Moment of Truth also doesn't seem bad in the format. Again, a lot of really high-impact plays between tons of powerful uncommons and rares. So being able to dig for certain cards is nice. I've seen Meeting of Minds doing a lot of work for my opponents. 4 mana for an instant to Convoke and draw 2 cards. So you can play it for a lot cheaper if you have some creatures on board, sometimes even for free. So this is actually just a pretty excellent card draw spell, and I'll take it over Swiftwater Cliffs. Although that is a little tempting because we might be like a splashy 3-color deck, but for now, we're still relatively solidly just blue-green. Definitely in blue. Alright, blue-green duel seems great, but that's also a pick 9 Ral's Reinforcements, which is an incredible sign for blue-red Convoke. This card is really good with cards like Meeting of Minds. I'm actually high enough on Ral's Reinforcements to take that over Thornwood Falls here, leaving the door open for blue-red Convoke. Alright, nothing super good in green, so I'll take the solid Battle Fighter in red if we're in red-blue, because even if we're in red-blue, we have 2 battles already. Invasion of Segovia and Invasion of Rin. So this is a card that is going to be able to attack any battle as an 8/3 menace, which means if they don't block, the battle's just dead, period. You don't have to really think about it. And if they do block, you're getting your 8 power menace creature blocked, which means whatever 2 creatures they blocked it with, they're both dead, I promise. So we've got Artistic Refusal here, which looks really good for a deck that has enough Convoke going around. So with a lot of ways to spread out multiple 1/1 tokens, I think this is really nice because you could potentially hold up a counterspell for only 1 or 2 mana if you have like 5 tokens on board. And this is counter draw 2 discard. Eyes of Gitaxias in a vacuum is better, but I think for blue-red Convoke, because we already have 2 reinforcements, we might get a couple more throughout the draft, and we have Invasion of Segovia. I think Artistic Refusal is actually going to be an excellent card. Now we'll take a Hanger Scrounger, which is another card that's solid for the archetype because its ability triggers when you tap it for any reason. So even if we're convoking with it, it's fine. Yeah, Halo Charge Scab's not great. Frontliner's actually okay for hitting battles with. But I don't love that that Mill Dork very much. You mill 2, then you can put one of your instant sorceries or battles on top of your library, which is significantly less exciting than putting it directly into your hand, which is what makes it not incredible. It's card selection, it's not card advantage. All right, pack 2, pick 1. Incredible choices. This is a double rare pack. We have Pylon for a black removal spell that has Convoke, and Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, just one of the best creatures ever printed, honestly. But we're blue-red for sure. We're blue-red Convoke, and one card that is phenomenal in Convoke decks is Xerox Strobe Knight. I'm hoping that I'm saying that right. 3 mana for a 2/2 flying vigilant creature, so it can always just keep chipping at your opponent for 2. Really good with some battles like we have, and super good with Convoke, because if we've cast 2 or more spells this turn, we can tap it to make a 2/2 Knight. So if I do something like play a Ral's Reinforcements to get 2 1/1s, then use those 1/1s to convoke another spell out, that's a pretty fast, pretty easy way to play 2 spells in 1 turn. So Convoke decks are really good at triggering Xerox Strobe Knight. Oh my god, I want to take Stoke the Flames really badly. It is excellent interaction, and you can convoke it out for super cheap. However, Atali is one of the most busted bombs in this entire format. This is a 7 mana 7/7 trample. Alright, that's whatever. That's a just filler top end creature that's probably going to beat your opponent down if they don't kill it. But when this enters the battlefield, Each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card, and you may cast any number of spells from among them without paying their mana costs. So for 7 mana, you get a 7/7 trample, and you cast 2 spells for free guaranteed in addition to that. That is an absurd rate that pretty much always swings the game in your favor. So while it is 7 mana and it can be hard to get there, it's gonna win the game every time it gets cast, almost without fail. So pack 2, pick 3, we have an excellent Convoke removal spell. Temporal Cleansing here is going to make our opponent put whatever we choose either second from the top of their library or on the bottom. So we're either getting rid of it pretty much forever by putting it on bottom, or worst case scenario, tucking it back into their library, which means they'll have to spend another draw step getting back to it. It'll take 2 turns for them to redraw it, but when they do redraw it, it's not like you just bounced it to their hand. They still kind of went down a card, so it's still a 1-for-1 because they had to spend their draw step re-putting it into their hand. So I like Temporal Cleansing a good amount for this blue-red Convoke deck. Speaking of cards that are good for blue-red Convoke, we'll take Invasion of Kaladesh. This is excellent with all of our cheap little creatures that are good at attacking battles, and it gives us another cheap little creature to help convoke spells. I'll take the Invasion of Kaladesh over the Temporal Cleansing, although Beamtown Beatstick would be interesting as well, with all these little 1/1s to put it on. Alright, Gigantas would be really fun to draft around, but you need to have everything in your deck only have 1 mana of each mana symbol. We already have a double red card that is 100% never getting cut from this deck, so we're not going to play Giganta in the companion slot, so it's not that good. We can take another Meeting of Minds, which seems great, or Harried Artisan if we want to get aggressive. I think I'd rather just have more Meeting of Minds. Let's be super convokey nonsensey. Have a great time with it. All the Meeting of Minds? This card's a common? Whoa, I didn't know this card's a common. Maybe I'm overvaluing it, but does seem good. If I'm cutting green, I could use some more 2-drop cards, and we have quite a few battles. I guess I have 2 of them in blue still. Okay, that's not as many battles as I thought, but I do like Frontliner for attacking battles. Oh no, I have 3 now, because I've got Kaladesh, Segovia, and Vryn. Yeah, with 3 battles, I'll go for that. It also gives me another cheap creature to help convoke, even if it's only 1 creature off that card. Ooh, Agar the Freezing Flame is really good with red burn spells. So if this trades off into something that has less than 3 toughness, then you'll draw a card when it trades off. And if you play any burn spells that are dealing more damage than the creature's toughness, you'll also draw cards. So I think Agar is pretty good. Furnace Rains is good in the Sacrifice deck, but we don't have Sacrifice outlets here. Flywheel Racer is actually fine for a Convoke deck with all of our 1/1 tokens. But I'll go for the Agar here. Seems the most fun and potentially the most powerful. Skittering Surveyor is fine. I think when we've got a 7-drop in our deck, having another creature that just hits the board helps us convoke and helps us get another land towards making it all the way to 7 mana. That'll be fine. And especially if we want to splash in a little bit of green, that'll be really helpful for that. So if we do play like Invasion of Ikoria or something, Surveyor is going to be a big deal. So I'll take the Skittering Surveyor. And here's a green-red duel to help try to splash an Invasion of Ikoria. It's competing with just a Hanger Scrounger, which is fine. Again, because we can do the discard draw every time we convoke with it, but I like the idea of getting Invasion of Ikoria in here, because if we top deck it late game and we have 9 mana, I could grab a Tali, because a Tali triggers when it enters the battlefield, not when you cast it. So even if you cheat it into play with Invasion of Ikoria, you get its enter the battlefield effect, and that's almost like we have 2 copies of a Tali. I'll take a Searing Barb here. It'll be my first red damaging spell. I don't have a lot of interaction, and this will be one that maybe works with Agar if I kill a 1 toughness creature with it. Also kind of makes a creature when we play it, which could be cool. So I'll take the Searing Barb. Now a Furnace Host Charger seems fine because we can use it to mount and cycle to draw more lands towards a Tali. Or if I top deck it late game, and make sure we don't flood out because we can just play it instead of like playing an 18th land. Negate is probably a little better in this format than usual because of the battle archetype. But I don't think I'm going to start with it main deck, and this is best of 1 draft, so I think I'm just not going to play it. But it's interesting, it's an option. This deck's looking really fun. We didn't get any Ral's reinforcements out of that pack, which is a pretty big bummer. I want to find one or two more copies of this to really make the deck work, to make the Meeting of Minds significantly better, as well as the Artistic Refusal. Really, really up the power level of those. Take a Windscarred Crag just in case we open up some sick white rare to splash in instead. I don't think I'm playing this Scrap Chomper, but I can run it main deck for now. Well, we did open up a pretty excellent white rare. Is there anything on color that's better? Not really. This requires 1 white mana, and then every time we play a non-creature spell, we get a 1/1 with Prowess. And this has Prowess? Yeah, take Monastery Mentor if we're super lucky, wheel an Intercessor to help splash it in. Yeah, there's nothing better than that. Marauding Dreadship's probably the best on-color card because it's technically like 2 creatures off 1 card, but one of them is a vehicle and the other one you have to spend mana to flip. So it's a little awkward, but the other on-color cards are just really not that interesting. Yeah, I'll take Monastery Mentor. Maybe splash that in off the Surveyor and not mess around with the green stuff. Anything great for the Convoke deck? Another Skittering Surveyor actually does seem pretty important now. We're splashing 1 color for sure, maybe even 2, so I'll take Surveyor over anything else. But I think Greatsword is fine to use on your 1/1s late game. Invasion of Xerox could be another fine white card to splash. You get to bounce something, then chip away at this and get a pretty big creature for this archetype. So that could be exciting, but I think I'd rather just make sure my mana is great and take another Skittering Surveyor here. Well. Glistening Dawn's really, really, really big. Which makes me want to splash white and green. And hopefully Skittering Surveyors can get us there, because we're trying to get double green for Invasion of Ikoria and double green for Glistening Dawn. But 4 mana to make 2 creatures with power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control is insane. This isn't quite that, because you have to spend 2 mana to flip the Incubators, but it's still quite close. I think Glistening Dawn's great. I will take that here. Another Cosmic Hunger, but that would be off the splash, which is less exciting. Well, we could Convoke out an Astral Wingspan. That'd be pretty good. Draw a card, give something flying. Flying's going to make it so we can just snipe a battle out of nowhere. Yeah, I'll take the Wingspan. All right. Baral, Chief of Compliance. Making all of our instants and sorceries cost 1 less is kind of exciting. It's a fine little Convoke dork as well. That makes our Meeting of Minds even easier to cast. I think I like that a little bit better than Oracle of Tragedy, but not like a lot better. That would also be solid in here. I'll take Baral. It's also cooler. It's from the Multiverse Legends, so it's splashier for sure. And that's what we want. The deck is splashy. We're going to be splashing 2 colors. All right, what's going on here? Not a lot. Invasion of Kylem, I guess? Give 2 of our random dorks +2/+0 to help hit this thing. If we flip it, we get 2 3/2s. Ooh, that get bigger when they attack together? Yeah, that actually seems like a fine splash. Maybe the better version of this deck is going to be just splashing white if we get a card like that in here too. Although there's a red-green duel to help with the green splash, and another Surveyor to help with both splashes. Corruption of Tawashi is a great value play if you have a lot of Incubator tokens. We don't have a ton of those, but this does draw us a card every time we flip a battle as well. Anytime we transform anything. This is such a good pack. There's a Spell Spear too, which is huge. This pack is insane. I'm going to take the Surveyor and just go for my double splash here. But there were so many good options for us. Here's a Flywheel Racer that can help us mana fix as long as we're crewing it, which we've got a lot of 1/1s to help do that. Or Equipment and Vehicles. 1 aura, no vehicles, like no equipment. Alright, I think I just let it time out a little bit there, but I took another Artistic Refusal because I do think it's cool, and it gives us 2 counterspells to work with Baral. I don't know, it's close there. There's so many good options for us in all these packs at this point. I think I'll take the Dreadship here for potentially 2 cards, or 2 creatures off 1 card. Alright, bunch of nonsense. Maybe Greatsword. Another big slow Convoke sort of finisher. Another invasion of Kylem. All right. Just full on the... I don't think I'm playing either of these. Full on the white splash. No one likes this card. I guess, I mean, it's a lot of defense, and it doesn't have a great onboard impact immediately. But in a deck like this, with a bunch of just tokens to go wide with, making 2 of those tokens have 3 power to attack in and trade into something could legitimately be worth a card, even if you don't flip the battle. Alright, so let's just start with everything in the deck and whittle it down from there. With 3 Skittering Surveyors, I think I am going to get greedy. And I'm going to go for the double splash. For the green cards, we'll play Invasion Glistening Dawn. We don't need the Blade Master. I like blowing up an artifact or enchantment with this, but I think I'm still going to cut it and not have room. Cosmic Hunger is a maybe. Probably not, though. Probably just keep the on-color interaction. And then for white cards, we're splashing in maybe just Monastery Mentor. But triple Invasion of Kylem. It's tempting. I just don't have that much room. I've got 56 cards in here right now, so I'm going to have to cut something. Sure, I'll start with them out of the deck for now. We'll play 1 Plains Double Forest. That seems correct with 3 Skittering Surveyor. Okay. So we get to cut 13 more cards from this wild deck. We currently have 17 creatures as well as several instants and sorceries that provide creatures and 4 battles. I think I'm cutting a lot of creatures. I think Aki Scrap Chomper is one of the worst ones. We don't have a lot of expendable artifacts, and we're not going to sack lands till very late game. Definitely keep the Captive Weird, the Baral, and the 2 frontliners. Definitely keep Monastery Mentor. Furtive Analyst is a bit slow and dirtily. Might cut that. Invasion's great. Strobe Knight is great. The Scroungers are a little iffy as well. I actually don't even think Agar's that good in here. It's fine when it trades off into something, but we didn't get any red burn spells. We have like 1, and it's a Searing Barb, which is not going to do enough damage, so I'm actually not that into the Agar either. Definitely into the triple Surveyor. War Train Slasher is fine. We're going to have a pretty decent battle account. We're going to have a pretty decent amount of battles. We've got 3, 4, 5 right now. We're probably not cutting too many of them, so I think that'll be fine. Furnace Toast Charger, that's fine for that Mountain Cycling. Again, another card that's going to make sure we keep drawing lands like these Surveyors. So that's fine, and Invasion of Ikoria is fine. So if I cut all that, we still need to cut 8 cards. So we cut 8 non-creature cards. I don't love the Barrage, because we're not always going to be playing against white or blue. It's going to be great when we are, but when we aren't, it'll be pretty bad. I think like 40% of the time we'll be playing against a one or the other color, because they are 40% of the colors. That's 2/5. So it's not the worst odds, but that means 60% of the time we're probably not playing against either, which is bad. Yeah, I think I need to have more experience in the format before I know if Negate is super main deckable, but it feels like it is, probably in this format. But I have a lot of really strong stuff, so it's going to be borderline anyway. So we'll cut the Negate here, make some room. Not super into Disturbing Conversion, but I don't have a lot of interaction, but that's too bad. I'm going to cut this thing anyway. Dreadship's a bit slow, because it's pretty mana sinky. We got to play the 3 mana to get it out, and the 2 mana to flip the Incubator to get our full value. It's good, but a bit slow. For my tastes, Greatsword also feels a bit slow for my tastes. We just have bombs in the late game instead of just making our 1/1s better, and we don't have that many 1/1s. We have 2 reinforcements, an Invasion of Kaladesh and Invasion of Segovia. I guess Mentor also. Yeah, I actually do have a lot for Greatsword, but I have cooler ways to try to close out the game, so we'll rely on those. Now we have to cut 3 more cards. Really don't want to cut out. Don't want to cut down on any more interaction at this point. Or card draw, really. I guess with 3 Surveyors, I could maybe cut this Charger. Yeah, I don't really want to cut these Convoke cards because they're really cheap if we curve out, and super good if we have the Strobe Knight as well for curving out. So maybe the Searing Barb is situational enough, or the Wingspan is situational enough. Yeah, I feel like these are the final 3 cuts. Host Charger, Searing Barb, and Wingspan on everything else. I could see some of these cards being pretty big overperformers as the format progresses. I might change my opinion on them, but for now I'm cool with cutting them. Wingspan seems like the strongest card that I'm cutting here that I should maybe keep in. Because even just turning a 1/1 into a 3/3 flyer and drawing a card is a pretty big game on the 5 battles that we have. So this is the one I'm the most concerned with cutting, but I think our other cards are cooler. Yeah, and I don't want to lower my 2-mana stuff any more than this. I could cut one of the Meeting of Minds, I guess. I would still have Captive Weird for card draw, 3 Surveyor for land draw, 2 Artistic Refusal to draw 2, discard 1, Invasion of Rin to draw 3, discard 1. Yeah, that's still a lot of card draw. We can cut 1 Meeting of Minds for this Astral Wingspan, and I think we'll call it a deck there. Alright, hold on a sec. It changed our mana base again. It wants to add another forest? 3 Surveyor? I don't think I do that. 3 Surveyor. I think I just want 3 green sources, although both of my green cards are double green, so maybe there is an argument for triple green. This is 7 blue sources and 6 red sources, naturally, for our 11 blue cards and 7 red cards. Oh, I mean, both of our green cards are incredibly late game plays, though, so I am going to cut a forest and get another blue source in. Do an 8/6. I think blue is our most important early game color. No, 2 reinforcements in frontliner early game. We'll go 7/7 on blue-red. And then 3 green sources, 2 white sources. With 3 surveyors. Yeah, I think the mana base is reasonable like that. And now we will call it a deck. Alright, here's a look at the completed deck list for today. This is a blue-red Convoke deck at its core, but it's splashing in some double green cards and a white card. So Skittering Surveyor is the glue holding this deck together. It's a 3-mana 1/2 that's going to let us grab any basic land from our deck, reveal it, and put it into our hand. This is going to mana fix for our off-color cards, make sure that we hit another land drop to keep moving up the curve, and give us another creature to convoke our spells with. So the Skittering Surveyor going to be pretty important to this deck, so we gave it the deck box treatment here. So our curve is Captive Weird to start it off, mainly kind of a 3-mana creature because we turn it into the Conjurer and draw a card off of it, which is pretty nice. We have 2 reinforcements at 2 mana to get multiple creatures to convoke with, or get a wide board state to be attacking our battles with. Some Thrashing Frontliners that are great at attacking battles, and a Baral to make our instants and sorceries cheaper. At 3 mana, we have Monastery Mentor off of the white splash, allowing us to get a 1/1 every time we play a non-creature card. Invasion of Segovia, giving us 2 Krakens and a nice 4 defense battle that we could flip into giving all of our non-creature spells convoke. And Xerox Strobe Knight is a sick 3-drop if you have a lot of convoke spells, because convoke makes it much easier to cast 2 spells in 1 turn and get the extra knight tokens off of this card. So Strobe Knight seems great. Wartrain Slasher is great at attacking all of the battles we have in this deck, including this Invasion of Kaladesh that I kind of skipped over at 2 mana. 2 mana for 1/1 flyer and a battle we can chip at. At 4 mana, we also have great card draw. Invasion of Rin draws 3, then discards 1, digging for some bomb rares or whatever we need. And Meeting of Minds draws 2 cards as well, and has Convoke to play it for even cheaper. So a lot of good digging through our library with those 2. But we also have Temporal Cleansing, slowing our opponent down, and Artistic Refusal being a counterspell and card draw to dig through our library all in one. And Astral Wingspan being a way to give one of our cards flying and draw a card all in one. So tons of nice flexible card draw when we get higher up the mana curve to dig through our library for some of our bigger, bombier cards. And those bigger, bombier cards are Eltali Primal Conqueror, one of the strongest rares in the entire format. A 7-mana 7/7 that casts a spell for free from both libraries when it hits the board, and Invasion of Ikoria, which, if we make it to 9 mana, can just put our Atali from our library into play. And even if we don't make it to 9 mana, put something else into play, and if we ever flip this battle, if we ever deal 6 damage to it, just, casually get a nice little 8/8 reach on the board. Nothing all that big. Then we have a Glistening Dawn as the final bomb rare in the deck, just a very late game bomb, making 2 gigantic incubator tokens to flip into gigantic Phyrexians. So really cool, really fun deck here. Blue-red at the core, splashing some big, powerful stuff late game. Super excited to see how it does as we head into the gameplay. All right, I think I'll keep this opening hand. We have Baral into Meeting of Minds on turn 3 to draw the cards, digging towards a potential white source for Monastery Mentor. If we don't find the natural white source, we can try to find a Skittering Surveyor. We've got 3 of those, so I think with 3 Surveyors, 3 lands, 3 playable cards, and just 1 off-color card, it's a pretty keepable hand. There's our Brushwag rolling onto the board. Now we draw a Glistening Dawn. Well, now we have 2 uncastable spells. Definitely makes the hand worse, but again, this draw 2 probably going to go quite the distance for us in helping us dig towards those lands. Well, here's green source now. I think I still play the mountain first, because even if I hit double green immediately, I don't really want to play Glistening Dawn until I have more lands out anyway. And our only other green card in the deck, period, is an X mana spell that I want to wait quite a while to play as well. So our opponent did mulligan to 5, but Overgrown Pest is going to be a great way for them to recover from that, giving them a 2/2 and drawing a land off of 1 card. So a solid little 2-for-1 here. I'll go ahead and get 1 forest out at least, but I'm going to hold Baral up to block the 2/2, and then use Meeting of Minds to draw 2. This seems really pushed. It's instant speed. 4 mana Convoke, draw 2. Might be like a tiny expensive, but when you add in the fact that it's instant speed, that's just a great deal in my opinion. Oh, I didn't even need to Convoke because I've got the 3 mana with Baral making it cheaper. Now we have a Skittering Surveyor to grab our white source, so I'm very tempted to play that before I play any non-land cards like Invasion of Kaladesh, any non-creature cards that is. Etched Familiar, I can double block that and just lose Baral. Yeah, this seems fine. Surveyor for the plains and run it out. It's alright if I have to wait a long time for Glistening Dawn, because again, I would prefer if this were basically the last spell that I cast anyway. Now with 5 mana, we can go Mentor into Invasion of Kaladesh in the same turn. The squad is getting sent in here. I guess I'll take the 3. Theoretically here they only kill the Surveyor. If they play a combat trick or removal spell, it's whatever. We can lose these creatures. Baral's not exactly doing anything anymore. It's only making our 4 mana card cheaper, but I can already not afford it till I hit another green source. Alright, sure. Get a land, don't lose the pest. They still only kill 1 of the 2 creatures. Oh, there's a Strobe Knight. That's super tempting, but I think Mentor's better. Play that first. Probably hit the invasion and chump with my 1/1 monks over anything else. Invasion of Lorwyn, destroy any non-elf. It's a very good battle. Just inefficient. Okay, it's 6 mana, it's not that efficient, alright. Just a solid removal spell, and then a gigantic creature if they ever flip it. Yeah, that's a very threatening battle. Good grief. That'll be a 7/7 if they flip it right now. I guess I gotta kind of kill a creature here. Invasion of Lorwyn goes down to 1 defense. Ooh, Artistic Refusal. That's pretty good. I'm not going to have the mana to hold that up. That's okay. I think I have to just play this Slasher. So I have a creature big enough to trade into the Pest. If they removal spell Slasher, am I going to chump block Pest with Surveyor? Actually, I think I would, so I'm just going to hold it off. Rather than poke the Invasion of Kaladesh right now. I think Invasion of Lorwyn flipping is significantly better for them than Invasion of Kaladesh flipping is for us. Like an Aether Wing's just not the scariest thing. Gyruda, well, that is a bomb. Each player mills 4, they get an even mana cost card from a grave. Yep, so 6 mana, they got a 6/6 and a 2/2 that attacks battles as a 3/3. So, not ideal. Another Skittering Surveyor. That can grab my next green source for Glistening Dawn. Next turn I'll have 8 mana to play it and flip both of them. Oh, that is going to be good. That is going to be really good. Okay. So let's do that. They milled my forest! Oh my god, they milled my forest! My only other green source left is the red-green. Oh, Gyruda just hosed me so hard. Oh, by the way, the top card of my library was a Tali if I didn't shuffle. Don't show me that, Arena. Don't show me the top card of my library. That is so bad for us. Well, now I don't have a good way to recover anymore. I guess I can draw 2, discard a card when I chump block both of these. I guess Frontliner's guaranteed to flip Invasion if I hold up Refusal. Yeah, I think we just let the Frontliner flip Lorwyn. Yeah, they're gonna flip it. Oh wait, no. Oh my god, I could counter the flip side. I'm a doofus. I forgot that's a thing you can do. These are technically cast when they flip them. So we could have countered that, then drawn 2 and discarded a card. That was definitely the line. This is still not horrific. Because I can still chump block for days. There's an Ichor Drinker. And a Portent Tracker. Oh, now they can just defend the invasion. Oh, we just shuffled the Tali right back to the top? Well, I mean, I think I know what I do here. Don't mind if I do. And that'll just save us from all the punts this game. Oh my god. They have another Invasion of Lorwyn. Use their invasion against them. Kill that Gyruda, I guess. Oh, that's an elf. That's why I can't kill it. I was like, why can't I kill that thing? I chip at the Invasion of Lorwyn. Then, because I cast 2 spells, I get a 2/2. And then I have Artistic Refusal held up as well. Okay, so I almost punted this game away, but we just top deck a Tali, so we're still okay. We're still fine. And now I'm holding up Artistic Refusal just because I have so many creatures on board, even with just 1 island up. Card seems very real in the late game, especially when I remember how battles work. But this is the early access event, my very first day playing with the format, so I am forgetting some key things like that, that when they flip, you cast the other side. You don't just flip it like you do a transform card, like a werewolf or something. You are technically recasting the card, so it can be countered, which is important to keep in mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I still hold up my counterspell if I chump here. And I'd like to keep a Tali because I can flip it and make it an 11/11 trample indestructible that poisons my opponent out. Also flips my battles easily. Kogla and Yadaro, that's pretty cool, but I'll just cast a 1-mana counterspell. That's a lot of powerful text, and I'm happy for you. We're sorry that happened, but I'm not reading all that. And they're gonna scoop it up. The secret 6-mana counterspell still being held up off of a single blue to ruin the Kogla play there, and now we just have a board state with an Atali on board, a Xerex. We get to flip one of these sagas really easily, probably flip Invasion with Atali, poke the Kaladesh one with the Xerex Strobe Knight, and yeah, really good board state there. It's going to be a very uphill battle for our opponent. So we are going to take the victory in the end. A very swingy game there, very back and forth. The Gyruda milling our land so we couldn't get the second green source. That was a huge, scary moment there, because if we had the second green source, we would have had the 8 mana the next turn to guarantee just make 2 8/8s and then immediately flip them. And we'd be in a really good spot there, but still just drawn to the Atali as well to make up for it. So that was beautiful. I definitely could have played the game better. The biggest thing was realizing that you can counter battles when they get flipped. That is something I really need to keep in mind in the future. So that's the big learning point of the game. But overall, excellent stuff from the deck, even if I didn't play at my best. So we'll be 1-0 as we move into Game 2. Here we are in Game 2 against Floridaman. Floridaman is a streamer who is constantly at the top leaderboards on 17 lands. So one of the players with the most wins out of everyone on Arena. Very experienced player, if you want to check out his streams. We've got a pretty excellent hand. Obviously, having the 7-drop in the opener is not great, but it's nice to know that we have a Atali later if we want it. So you can just flip that into a 3-2 if I play my 1-3. Yeah, I'll just play the frontliner, I think. That's fine. If I draw into a battle, it'll be awesome. Not a lot of Convoke in this deck, so I don't think I want to just immediately trade off, even though I could get that ability out of the way. Ew. Invasion of Azgul. Post-combat. So I wonder what's in his hand, because I would have expected pre-combat and just poke it for 2. But maybe he's just going full aggro, all face damage here or something. Yeah, not super sure about that one. Alright, Baral's not a great blocker here. This is actually... Things line up pretty poorly for us, because now we can just flip Prankster and hit the Invasion or our face, and we have no good blocks. That's if he's got nothing else in hand. If he does have something else in hand, then obviously things are even worse for us, because if there's a better line than making that a 3-2 here, then it's probably a pretty good line. Is this sorcery speed only? I guess we figure out what the trick is. That's a better line. Destroy it, draw a card. Okay. I'll take the time I can get to get up towards Atali mana. Okay. I'm gonna have a bad time for a little bit here. They can flip the agent, just start drawing cards off of me. And drawing cards when they hit battles? Yeah. No flip of the agent though, so another follow-up play instead. Furnace Gremlin, sure. There's a Strobe Knight. I mean, guess it draws removal. There's definitely removal left. Yep, Stoke the Flames it is. Artistic Refusal can guarantee the 7th mana that we need to get Atali down, so we're going to cast it even if it doesn't counter anything here next turn during their end step. And hopefully it'll counter something. So we're going to die real fast if Atali doesn't hit us some excellent cards to flip the board state in our favor. So this is really going to put my quote to the test. This is really, really going to put that to the test to see if it truly is, if you resolve Atali, you win the game. Or if there are positions where you can lose with Atali. If there are positions that you can lose with Atali being cast, this is certainly one of them. Because we're going to be very low on life. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... down to 10. They draw another card. We're low on life. He's drawn more cards. And this would be a really losing spot. Get the counter there. Let's just draw 2, discard a card. We got to guarantee that we have Atali mana. There's the Atali mana. Discard the Surveyor, probably. I think so. Let's find out. There's a Tolly. Let's see what we hit off of this. We hit Monastery Mentor, Archpriest of Shadows? What? Oh my god, a Tolly just hits a rare and a mythic, I guess? Guess I buffed my Mentor. Nothing I have has haste anyway. That's a board state. See how much removal he's drawn into to clear this out. There's one with the Volcanic Spite. What does this do? When it deals damage to a player or battle, return a creature from your grave to the battlefield? Good grief. So he definitely sends the Mind Slinger in. And the Reaper, the Gremlin can get buffed multiple times. If he's got another removal spell, we're probably still dead. Oh my god, you know what I could do here? I could block the Mind... If he doesn't have removal, and I block the Mind Stinger with a Tolly and get it in my graveyard, then I could give the Archpriest flying and put a Tolly back on board. It's a very fingers crossed play, but I'm in a super fingers crossed position. High risk, high reward. All right. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to cross my fingers. Buff the Gremlin. Buff the Gremlin. Down to 5. Let's see the follow-up. Nezumi Informant makes us discard a card. Probably Invasion of Kaladesh so I can keep the Wingspan. 4, 5, 6, 7. I have enough mana to play Invasion and Wingspan, or Weird and Wingspan. Guess I like Weird and Wingspan better. Okay, land, reinforcements. It's a wide board state. Wide board state could definitely kill me. Invasion of Segovia is the draw. Alright, what are we going to do, Atali? Stoke the Flames, Artistic Refusal. Kill the Menace card, draw 2, discard 1. Discard Invasion of Ikoria, because the double green. Listening Dawn significantly better. Drop Captive Weird. Pass the turn. We block the Gremlin with a Tolly and a 1-1 with a 1-3. Yeah, Floridaman's over it. Because if he just top decked a land there, which is probably the case with that scoop being pretty quick, then that means Gremlin just runs into a Tolly, the 1-1s run into Weird, I take 2, go to 3, but then I hit him for 6, play anything from my grave again, and start deploying all of these to have infinite blockers. Not infinite, but enough to stop all of the damage, and just flying Archpriest of Shadows keeps playing stuff out of my grave and locking out the game. So that was not a fair and balanced game of Magic, and my saying of if you cast an Atali, you probably win did pan out. We were very, very, very far behind, and Atali saved us from the jaws of defeat. Ridiculous bomb rare. Unfair game of Magic there, but we'll take it. We're 2-0 heading into game 3 now. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 3. We've got the Skittering Surveyor to get the white source. Having both of our double green cards in the hand is kind of awkward. I'll be honest about that, but I'm still going to keep Surveyor Mentor and see if we can go some places from there. Obviously, I'll be able to cast everything that I draw in my deck, off of these lands plus Surveyor, because I'll have my white source for the Mentor. I guess this is the only white card, so I don't need to mention that, but I'll have all the mana to cast any of my other draws, because these are the only green cards in the deck. So every other draw is pretty live, except for more islands and mountains. So not a lot to do in the initial hand, but a lot of live draws. Able to cast anything we hit. Our opponent's going to start with an Invasion of Urgamon, get a treasure token, and discard a card, draw a card, I believe. Let's grab our 1 plains here for the Monastery Mentor. Our opponent has 4 mana thanks to their treasure token if they want to crack the treasure, but just 3 lands on board, and they're going to crack the treasure for a 4/4. That is pretty beefy. That is an issue. So we drop the Mentor, or I can give my Surveyor flying for like no reason. They need 5 mana to turn that into a big enough creature to kill the invasion. Yeah, we just play the Mentor. Play the Wingspan next turn, probably on the Mentor. Draw a card and hit them pretty hard with Prowess in the Sky. I think I'll let them put the battle to 1. Save the Surveyor for a chump block when they would actually be flipping it. Well, that might not play out well because we obviously can't chump block the Trampler, so that's going to give them an easy flip with the 3/3. This does become very nasty when it flips. A 3/4 that they can discard a card to grab any land or battle in their library, so they find their best battle. It's pretty scary. I actually think I'm going to put Wingspan on the Surveyor then, and I'll just hold it up as a big blocker for the frontliner. I can just chump block the Hermit with a 1/1. I should have sent Mentor in. I'm definitely not trying to block with Mentor right now. Could have got 3 damage in there. That was loose. I guess I could double block Hermit with a 3/4 and a 1/1, since I have no more non-creature spells in my hand. Maybe trading Mentor off in a block isn't the worst in the world. I guess it doesn't trade into frontliner, but I could stack it up in a double block somewhere if I want. Looks like they probably have removal here, some way to break through and flip the battle. They're definitely observing the board state. Lots of strobe lights going on. There's a whole disco party. Gigantic rave on the board. Alright, 4/3 defender. Okay, maybe they were just lamenting the fact that they couldn't flip the battle right now. Temporal Cleansing is excellent here. Slow them down and gets a 1/1 monk. Mentor has given us some extra value now, so I'm a little more hesitant to just attack it into this 4/3 defender. That does seem like a trade down. Might still be okay because it puts them down to just a frontliner on board. And again, we're just playing off the top, so who even knows we hit that many more non-lands at this point, or non-creatures at this point. No, I think I'm just going to hold. We have like no more gas in our hand unless I can find 2 green sources, which is going to take quite a while to do so. So I'm going to try to get all the juice I can get out of these cards. Well, that invasion is very dead because it's a 4/4 trampler now. So just gave it double strike. Yeah, there's no way. Absolutely no way we can save that. So now they get their best battle from their library into their hand. I guess that means they don't redraw the Hermit at least, which is kind of funny, kind of cute. Tucked it away forever. But yeah, Invasion of Murgonda is quite good. Skittering Surveyor's not a bad draw. But I'm going to have to just naturally top deck the next forest if I've got any hopes here, because otherwise I'm about to take 1,000,000 damage when they cast this Invasion of Murgonda, and they're probably going to flip it as well. Four, five, six, 7, 8. 2 turns away from Invasion to grab my 7-drop Atali. So if I can live for 2 turns and find the forest in one of those 2 turns, we can put the Atali dream to the test again. Alright, yeah, that Invasion was very good for them. But I can trade a couple 1/1s into their 5/4, thankfully. I think we just let them kill it, but we take all of the best kills that we can here. Which is going to be, we can kill this and that, but I lose my 3/4, they get another 4/4 on board. Yeah, we have to draw straight gas. We have to go forest. I mean, if I hit a forest off the top, that's a 1 out of 24 chance, but if I do, Glistening Dawn does save us. Get 2 absolutely massive creatures, and then next turn an Invasion of Ikoria for Atali. So we have 2 outs, Forest and Atali. Those are the 2 cards on top that can get us into a winning position. Yep. Fingers crossed. 1 in 12 chance. Atali or Forest. Atali or Forest. Let's go. I need all of your good RNG energy. Oh my god. The 1 out of 24 Forest. That's just 2 8/8s. Don't worry about it. It's just 2 8/8s. We're all good. I'm definitely not doing anything next turn, I promise. It's just 2 8/8s. Just find a way through 2 8/8s and you'll be fine. Very easy to do. Very, very easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh my god. That was such a live draw. This format makes me feel alive. It also makes me feel very dead when I'm in the opposite position right now. Invasion of Call Time. Exile all cards from their hand, then draw that many cards. Until the end of your next turn, you may play cards exiled this way. So they could play anything they just exiled right now, but they're just looking for more outs. They're looking for other cards. That's just a 3/3, another 3/3, and another 3/3. It's a bunch of 3/3s in their hand, which can't really get through 8/8s. Cool. No attacks, because they know we're just going to flip some 8/8s. And time for the fairest 2 turns in Magic. This is so stupid. The double green splash is worth it. See, I'll prove it. I'll prove it. It's as easy as that. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Oh, and then you cast your opponent's Chandra with Atali? Oh! Oh no.
You have no idea who you're.
I think I'm violating the Geneva Conventions in this game of Magic right now. I just think I am. We kill their whole board or we flip the Invasion of Ikoria into an 8/8. Oh my god! That was 1 turn! In 1 turn I got a 7/7 trample, an 8/8 reach, a Chandra, and a Baral. This format is actually, factually insane. I won't lie to you, when you're losing games like this, the lows are real low. But the highs when you win these games, they feel wild. There's some very big highs. This is incredible. And I get to double up my draw 2 now, off of their Chandra. Oof. I just get to cast all things at all times. I get to convoke my counterspell if I need it, because I have 1,000,000 creatures on this board. Just send a bunch of 8/8s in, I guess. I mean, if Atali dies, Atali dies. I don't need to flip Atali. I have 1,000,000 8/8s. So we just send everything in. They're just gonna take it all. That is very fair. I think I would. I think I would as well at that point. Some more reasonable, fair, and balanced games of Magic there. And we're just gonna casually be 3-0 now with some very normal, standard, commons and uncommons, bread and butter, limited Magic the Gathering gameplay. All skill-based, very strategic and synergistic deck building choices were made there. And we just put a bunch of bread and butter commons together to find a nice little victory. We're 3-0 heading into game 4. All right, here we are for game number 4. Pretty solid start here. Reinforcements to help convoke the Artistic Refusal. That gives us the double blue for that spell because it's 2 blue creatures. We have a green source from Highlands and a second green from Surveyor for the late game Invasion of Ikoria. I kind of want to get greedy and wait till I have 9 mana for that, but oh my god, I'll just naturally draw the double green. Well, I guess Surveyor can grab a blue source then. Or if I start drawing some blue sources, we can grab a white. But yeah, naturally hitting double green does feel kind of good there. Let's go ahead and drop Reinforcements. That feels really good against a 1-1 Death Toucher. Just block a 1-1 Death Touch with a 1-1 Elemental. Sure, I won't be able to play Refusal as easily, but won't be good for them. Alright, now I drew another blue spell. That's multiple blue spells. We're definitely surveyoring for an island in that case. Get that. I don't remember our other powerful creatures in this deck, but it might be worth casting Invasion of Ikoria early. It probably would be. Could kill our whole board, but I kill this thing and they don't draw any cards. That might be worth it. Don't have Refusal held up as easily, but I've got plenty of other stuff to play. You know what? I just don't want them drawing a bunch of cards here. I'll just let them wipe the board. Kind of a 1-for-1 because Surveyor replaced itself when we played it by picking up another land, so they basically traded mostly reinforcements for the agent. Okay. So we play the Strobe Knight now. That can keep attacking while holding itself up as a way to convoke the Refusal. Never mind. Invasion of Old-Growth is gonna kill the heck out of that. Well, the game's going slow enough and long enough that I'm at 6 out of 9 mana for Invasion of Ikoria to grab a Tali, so I'm just gonna wait. We just hold, we just sit here, plotting heinous things. Plotting disgusting things that should not be allowed. Alright, Alabaster Host Intercessor for our opponent. Brawl doesn't make Invasion cheaper, but it makes Refusal cheaper. I think I'd rather just flip the Weird. I guess I can afford to flip the Weird and play Baral if I don't flip something immediately castable. Play it next turn. I don't need to pay the life, so I'm not going to. Okay, hit a tap land. 6, 7. I need 9 for Invasion, so I'll play the tap land next turn and play Baral this turn. So I can double block Alabaster Host to keep them off of Invasion of Old-Growth unless they play another removal spell. What do they even get off of this if they kill it? They get Grandmommy. 3/3 flyer. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on this and gain a life. That is not bad at all. Alright. We do not want them to flip the Invasion of Old-Growth. That is for certain. Oh, we did draw our white source for Monastery Mentor. I just now noticed it's not just a tap land, it is the white source. So now we can literally cast everything in our deck. Except for a 9-mana Invasion of Ikoria. We can't do that yet. We're getting there. Getting close. Show me the heinous combat tricks that ruin my day. Just instant speed removal? No. Alright. I'll get my slasher back. Happily. What is that? What is that? Turn a non-battle permanent from your grave to the battlefield? Okay, well. We just cycle it right back. Fair enough. Now I can hold up Refusal. Green, green, and 4. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be my 8th land next turn. I'm so close. We're not stopping now. Just hold a little while longer. I can let them hit each of these for 3 one time. I guess if they flip, I just counter them. Yeah, if one of them flips, I can counter the back half. So yeah, we're A-okay. Actually, I can definitely just hold. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get to draw 2 and I get to draw 3 and discard 2 because Baral's also going to draw a card, discard a card when I do this. So this is worth it because of all of the card draw attached to this makes this definitely worth it. Wait, Baral, are you going to trigger? Baral should trigger here. I'm going to keep Meeting of Minds, but I'm going to get rid of the Wingspan. Yeah, Baral is going to trigger. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Land 8, land 9. I guess I just dropped the Meeting of Minds, just guarantee the invasion. But Meeting of Minds should hit lands. Oh my god, draw another Artistic Refusal? This deck's unbeatable, unstoppable. We're 1 turn away from the guaranteed 9 mana for Atali. They're going to try to flip this thing into whatever nonsense it does. Yeah, that's kind of wild, but I'll just counter it. Something about buffing like their entire board or something. All of their tokens, and they keep getting tokens in their end step. Yeah, no thanks. Get countered. Keep giving us that value, Baral. Oh, draw the Glistening Dawn. I feel sick. I feel like an absolute villain for good reason. Here comes Atali, the fairest magic card in our deck. Cast their Deadly Derision on their creature to get ours back and a Skittering Surveyor for value. Good grief. You know what? I have creatures that can single-handedly kill that invasion. I should just hit them for 1 instead of the invasion, because I can attack the invasion for 8 with a menace creature. Seal from existence. Goodbye, Atali. You tried. No, you already did incredible work. You're all good, Atali. There's a Thalia, but they can't block the Slasher, so I am gonna get an 8/8. I'm gonna have to spend a mana to cast this now, which is kind of weird. Oh no, it's a creature spell. I don't have to do that. Here's a Glistening Dawn. These are 10/10s? They're not even 8/8s, they're 10/10s. I could have played Frontliner and still had the mana up to flip both of these. Yeah, I'll get some 10/10s. Alright, here's a 10/10. And here's another 10/10. This must be what Legend felt like with his like 6 rare deck or whatever that he crushed me with earlier today. I'm honestly just sending everybody. Assign damage as though Phyrexian weren't blocked? What? Each non-human can deal damage as though it weren't blocked? So it just doesn't matter. There's nothing as... What? That's the bonus text on this card? I haven't even read how ridiculously powerful these cards are. For each non-human, you may have it assign damage as though it weren't blocked. They just can't. They literally can't block. They can't not take 32 damage. Oh my god. Okay. All right. We're 4-0 now, heading into Game 5. Well, it is getting pretty late into the night as of this recording session, so there are less people playing in the event, and it looks like I am paired against the same opponent we played against last round, so we'll see if we draw a little less explosive stuff and we don't be so evil this time around, but That is what happens. Hey, they got a turn 2 Thalia this game, which is actually a pretty big game against our deck here. Pretty hard to double spell with this Strobe Knight now. I think I still play it before I play Surveyor right now, because I already have my 4th mana to play next turn. But Thalia is great on turn 2, so they are already curving out better than last game. Oh yeah. Completed Huntmaster is a really, really strong card. Loved that in my red-black sacrifice deck. So this game could absolutely go differently. So we have Temporal Cleansing for Convoke to try to cast 2 spells in 1 turn later. I could play a 4-3 here. It's theoretically big enough to block Thalia and Huntmaster, so I think I am gonna drop the 4-3 over the Surveyor. Oak for 2, pass the turn. They need to play some kind of interaction to get through my War-Trained Slasher. Looks like they are going to do that. They keep looking at it. They keep eyeballing it menacingly. Alright, Phyrexian Awakening, I guess not yet. So that will hold them off for now. There's a Meeting of Minds. Gonna cost me 5 mana. I can Surveyor for 3, play a land, have 2 lands and 3 creatures to play Meeting of Minds as well, but then I don't double spell, but I do draw a lot of cards trying to constantly work my way up the mana curve and get towards my big 7 and 9 mana bombs, so I think I'm gonna do that. I already have double red, double green, my white source, and a blue source, so really any source is good. We'll take another blue. And I'm going to Meeting of Minds in their end step. Or in response to removal, I guess. Yeah, I'm not going to have good blocks regardless, so we'll convoke everybody to draw 2. Land, let's go. I mean, technically not exciting with what's currently in my hand, but we know what's in our deck. Lands are exciting for us, so that when we Invasion of Rin, draw 3, discard 1, when we find any of our bombs, we can play them later. Draw a Frontliner. 5 mana for Invasion of Rin. I'd only have 1 mana up afterwards. Think I'd rather spit out a bunch of creatures right now than play Invasion currently. So we can go Reinforcements and Temporal Cleansing, or Reinforcements and Frontliner. Actually, Temporal Cleansing does feel pretty nice. No, I'll just play the Frontliner. We're doing fine on blocks, especially if I get another 2-2. There you go, Strobe Knight. Pass the turn. Send in with Thalia. I mean, they first strike away 1 and then we kill Thalia. On board. So they are going to sacrifice Thalia to incubate here. Nice. Got that out of the way. Spells are cheaper now. But that might help them too. Thalia is a double-edged sword, so it was making their spells cost more as well. Aether Blade Agent. 1/1 Death Toucher. They can flip into a 3/3. Hey, Atali. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I think I know what I'm doing here. Play Atali pre-combat so I can attack with Xerax Strobe Knight and then tap Strobe Knight post-combat. Since I've cast multiple... Oh my god, they have a Breach the Multiverse? We're going to cast their Breach the Multiverse now? How many bombs am I about to play this turn? I guess none of these are bombs. Guess I'll grab the 4/3 from Our Grave. They have a Progenitor Exarch, but that's an X mana card to be a bomb. I'll take the Phyrexian Gargantua, I suppose. So we'll play a Monastery Mentor and a Tali and a Breach the Multiverse in 1 turn. This format is absurd. Oh yeah, they have 4/4s to flip. I don't even think it matters, honestly. They get a free kill on 1 of my attackers. I think this is still a good attack because we have so many creatures. This guarantees some other damage gets in. Just have one of our creatures die. I can temporal cleansing this to just permanently kill it and still have a 1/1 monk and an Atali up on blocks. And they're just going to scoop them up. That was atrocious. Atali Primal Conqueror has got to be maybe the #1 rare in this set. The card is busted. There's so many bombs in this format that it feels like it's been... I mean, today it 100% has been consistently just casting more rares, either from our deck or our opponent's deck. So not only is it a 7-mana 3-for-1 every time, but it can just find your opponent's bombs too, which has been so dumb. We are 5-0 now, heading into round 6. Would be super happy right now on my personal account because we are in the money if it were a full-on Premier Draft. But this is during the early access account, so this is an account provided to me by Wizards of the Coast, so will not be keeping any of the cards, the gold, or the gems that I'm playing with today. This is just for promotional purposes, showing off the new set. But yeah, this has been incredible. 5-0, heading into round 6. Here we are for round 6. Monocolored hand, but never lost a game where I've cast Atali yet, so all we have to do is draw one mountain. Skittering Surveyor will draw the second mountain, and we can get to Atali. Didn't expect to draw the mountain so early, but I'll take it. Being able to play Frontliner on 2 is excellent for us. Draw another island. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we Skittering Surveyor for the mountain, and that's the 7 lands, 2 red, and all these blue sources for the 5 generic. Could be a little awkward if we draw our green cards, but again, if we resolve an Atali, it's not really gonna matter if we draw some awkward mana from here on. So Serpent Blade Assailant. Oh my god, do they have the full Death Touch combo deck for Finn the Fangbearer to try to poison us out? That's 2 Death Touchers. When either of them hit us, we get 2 poison counters from Finn. I'm going to have to trade my creatures off pretty aggressively. Luckily, Surveyor trades into Assailant, so that'll be great for me. But I might have to double Frontliner into Finn just to stay alive here. I'd rather not have to. I mean, I'll only be at 4 poison if I can just keep the other Death Touchers off me. Oh my god. Just make Finn a 3/5. I guess I just hold my blockers to block everything else and let Finn do his thing. Ral's Reinforcements. That gives me some breathing room. We're only 2 turns away from playing Atali, so that's probably more than enough breathing room to make it to that 7 mana. Invasion of Dominaria, they're going to gain 4 life and draw a card, and if they deal 5 damage to that, they'll get a 4/4 Flying Vigilance, which is very strong, but should be hard for them to get there. Yeah, and they're not even going to attack it. Alright, 1 turn away from Atali now. Bonded Herd Beast, that's pretty big, but it's certainly no Atali Primal Conqueror, and here's a card that is. Let's see what we hit. Hit a Norn's Inquisitor from their deck, and a War Train Slasher from our deck. Alright. Any 2 cards is just already exceptional. No big bombs this time, but the board state is super wide for us now, putting us pretty far ahead. Even if Atali dies, which it looks like it's about to. Get Seal from Existence. If I have any enchantment removal, then I get it to hit the board again, but I don't think I do in this deck. We're basically a blue-red deck, which those colors are historically bad at getting rid of enchantments. Oh, there's an invasion. There's our Invasion of Segovia. I completely forgot we even had that, if I'm being completely honest. I can't get through these 3/5s and 4/5s and stuff, so we're just going to be sitting here for quite some time. Guess I'll play a Strobe Knight, and I'll probably play the Invasion as well. I'd probably rather just flip this. Wait till I draw another card. I could play Invasion and another spell in the same turn for the Strobe Knight to make another 2/2. Alabaster Host Intercessor. Well, there goes the Strobe Knight then. No, they're going to kill the Inquisitor? Alright, well I guess I flip this right now then. Oh, I guess because now when the Intercessor dies, they get the card back. Yeah, it'll come back, I believe, under their control because they're the owner of the card. Yeah. It does state the owner there. Drawn a green card, which is awkward. I mean, Slasher's going to kill 2 of their creatures if I just play the invasion and attack it with Slasher. Even if it's just like 2 of Silence, it's probably fine. Although now we could kill Intercessor and a Silent, and that wouldn't be good. Yeah, Intercessor against Atali's pretty nice. I guess I know I can hit Invasion of Segovia for 2 with this Strobe Knight. I'm not going to get any green sources from Convoking. This is probably just getting exponentially greedy, but I'm going to wait another turn and see if I can find a way to cast 2 spells in 1 turn. I think I should have just played this and hit it for 2, though. Alright, they're going to kill my flyer with Atrax's Fall. I think that's fine. I think we're still good on blockers. They attack with the Intercessor. I probably just double block with 2 2/2s. They kill one of my 2/2s, and I just give them their Norn thing back, which is fine. Yeah, get that out of the way. Don't have to worry about it later. Ooh, Phyrexian Awakening. Ooh, Invasion of Kaladesh. Now I can play 2 spells in 1 turn. We got there, but our creature-producing dork is gone, so it doesn't matter that I got there. Slasher is going to kill more things on attacks than blocks. When they flip their Phyrexians, they get another counter. That'll be a 3/3. That'll be a 5/5. Guess I can still find decent blocks on them. Yeah, I mean, we just chill. Wait for more Skittering Surveyors and green sources and stuff. The board state is pretty locked. Until somebody hits something wild. Flip a Herd Beast. 8/6. Yeah, I can double block that. That's fine. 4, 5, 6. I think losing 2 1/1s into the 3/3 is pretty fine. Two 1/1s. I am losing most of my board here. Yeah, they're actually in the lead on board. If they have a trick, then we're going to fall miles behind doing this. Alright, no trick at least, but that did break the parity of the board state. Alright, we're 1 Skittering Surveyor or Natural Green Source away from Invasion of Ikoria, which can pick up an Atali from our graveyard, not just from our deck. So keep that in mind, that could be pretty real. Well, they're down to a bunch of 1 toughness creatures and a Finn, so they can keep hitting me with Finn, but I can kill 2 of the 1 toughness creatures. War Historian? Alright, well that's going to attack really well. 3/3 indestructible while it's attacking their invasion. Oh, are they putting a counter on their whole board? Giving everything Vigilance Trample? No, they're doing something even worse. 16/16 Trample Ward. Island is not what the doctor ordered. Alright, well we probably deserved that, but we are just dead to them attacking with even just Imperiosaur. I guess technically I live with 1 life if they attack with only Imperiosaur, but super dead there. 1 green source away from still winning the game, because we would... Oh wait, I couldn't cast Atali again because it's not engraved. What am I talking about? Could get my next best creature though, which would have been fine. I guess we probably still would have lost even if I hit double green. But yeah, Imperiosaur gonna crush us there. If they didn't have Imperiosaur, we had a little more time. And if we hit double green and they didn't have Imperiosaur, it probably could have got something decent enough to give us more time there, but I think we were about due for just a little bit of balmy stuff from our opponent to try to close out the game on us instead. And a little bit more mana issues, because we kind of solved all our mana issues just perfectly in time every other game with some lucky stuff till now, so definitely about time that we take an L here, and we're going to be 5-1, moving into round number 7. All right, here we are on the play for game number 6. Double Surveyor is excellent. We already have the white source, so we can just find both of our green sources off of this. We've got double red, we have our white. We can use these for the green. Excellent, excellent mana with this hand, and we can use Invasion of Vryn to dig for some bombs with that very nice card draw. Super happy with this opening hand. All right, ooh, Artistic Refusal. Gonna be nice late game. More digging going on. Grab a green. Still nothing from our opponent turn 3. Guess if they're going to play nothing, I could just draw 3, discard 1. Definitely want to keep the land. Refusal might be slow enough to drop that out of everything here. Although one of these 2-drops makes a lot of sense. I like reinforcements with the refusal. That seems really good. I think I'll drop the frontliner. Boop. This just doubles up one of our instants or sorceries, right? Well, it copies any spell. Oh my god, we could copy Natali with this? Alright, I think I undervalued that. Our opponent is just stuck on mana there. They had 3 lands but still couldn't cast anything, so they're just going to scoop them up because we're going to Value Town over here. But I just realized this doesn't just copy instants or sorceries, it copies anything. So as long as it's on the stack. So if I have 8 mana, I can play Natali and then make another copy. I guess it would be, they're legendary, so one would die, but we'd still cast 2 spells from each player's library instead of just 1 spell from each player's library, which is nuts. Okay, the Mage Ring actually kind of sick. There is actually a good backside to the Invasion of Vryn. Very important to note. Nice to learn that game where it's probably not going to matter. Well, where it definitely didn't matter because they just scooped it up, so. Great to know for the future. We're now 6-1, heading into the final boss, but we've got a second attempt if things go awry. Really good run here. 6-1, heading into round number 8. This one's for all the marbles. All right, here we are for round 8 on the play with turn 3 Monastery Mentor. Actually, turn 2 reinforcements as well with the cleansing with Convoke and our late game Atali. Incredible hand. I'm feeling somewhat confident about this last game, but our opponent could have explosive stuff as well. Definitely is an explosive format. I don't think I'm going to get greedy here and try to get extra Monastery Mentor value. I'm just going to slam down the reinforcements turn 2. Our opponent's going to go for an Aerialist. That could do some work here because we don't exactly have any flyers right now. Or in our deck in general, we don't have a lot of them. Probably going to just Temporal Cleansing that Aerialist to slow them down and get extra prowess damage off of Monastery Mentor. And I might just hardcast it without even convoking. Depends on what we draw into. Ooh, Zalfirin Lancer? No, I can just bounce that instead. And I can convoke it, because I can play Weird now. And then bounce that. We just erase here. Make sure not to let Convoke auto-pay, because I wanted to tap an Elemental instead of our Summoning Sick Defender. That's not going to be attacking. So they get to choose to put it second from the top or on the bottom of their library. They're probably blue-white Knights aggro, so they might want to keep it second from the top to redraw it again later. But even if they do, they're going to have to spend that draw step picking that back up. Alright. It's going to the bottom of their library and will hit for 5, putting them to 13 here. Next turn, this weird is threatening them for 3 more damage because I can flip it. So they have definitely got to think about their defenses here if they have some good defensive plays. Reigning Champion is the play, and that's a great one. 2/2 flyer and 1/1 on the ground. Going to give them multiple blockers off of 1 card. We have drawn into Artistic Refusal. I think I flip the weird and just hope for a land on top ideally. Rather not pay the 2 life, but if I don't hit a land, I won't be able to hold up Refusal. Maybe I am supposed to just hold up Refusal, but missing a land drop to be 3 turns away from Atali instead of 2 turns away from Atali is pretty big. I guess I could cast Refusal without countering something, but this only flips the sorcery. This is kind of painful, but I think I'm going to pay the 2 life so that even if I don't hit a land, I'm still holding up Artistic Refusal. And if I do hit a land, then I can get Atali down faster. Dang, Baral. I mean, this is going to look super suspicious. If I just hold this up for the counterspell. If I attack with everybody and I prowess, we might find a free kill here. Oh, wait, no, I won't prowess because I can't tap these. If I attack with everybody, mentor trades, 1/1 trades. Yeah, and I can't hold up Refusal unless I attack with nobody, so I'm going to hold up Refusal. This would be a great opportunity for my opponent to flip their Skyclave Aerialist. So hopefully they don't do that, because I can't counter them just transforming their creature. And it'll turn into a 2/4 that lets them draw a card 1 time. Or if the top card of their library is a land, they just put that on the battlefield 1 time instead. Either way gives them 1 piece of value. I love the artwork on these elementals, they're super adorable. Oracle of Tragedy's fine, I'm not going to spend a counterspell on that. And I'm going to spam through quickly so they might not consider counterspells. I mean, they're probably considering counterspells though. Try to make it look more like a Stoke the Flames or something. Send in the Aerialist, sure. Take my 2. And they are just going to pass the turn. Alright, well, we lose the counterspell value, but that's okay. The 1/3 doesn't really affect things much. Draw 2, probably discard Glistening Dawn. Yeah. Sorry, Glistening Dawn. You're powerful, but not without green sources. No! Green source number 1! What are you doing here? I was supposed to not draw you now. Well, I can't play any prowess stuff. I guess I'm only attacking with my 3/3, but I can attack with my 3/3. Just fine. Alright, deal 3 damage. Here's Baral, I guess. We might be dying in the sky here. Oh, it's their own Artistic Refusal. Wait, they could have just countered ours. I guess Baral's... I don't know, I like our draw 2, discard 1 better than our Baral, so I'm kind of fine with that. I guess if they... No, that's the thing. If they countered it, they wouldn't have been holding any blockers up, so they definitely couldn't have done that. That explains that. They needed to have blockers up. Alright, missing this 1 land drop might have cost us the game. The fact that we didn't hit off Conjure. Because we did miss a land drop. We could have been at 6 lands right now, but I didn't play a land on my turn 4. I played my 5th land on my turn 6, and now I'll be playing land number 6 on my turn 7. But yeah, we've got no flyers, they've got multiple to chip at us. We threaten pretty big crackbacks and the life totals are relatively even, but I could definitely see us dying in the sky. Alright, they do hit a land off the invader, which is a great deal for them. And they're just going to pass the turn, fair enough. Play a 4-3 menace. Pass the turn. They just hold off for blocks again. If we draw a basic land, a Tolly could get us there. We have to draw another land. We've got no guarantee that we're going to hit the land immediately. So we need as much time as we can get to hit this land. We don't really have any choices in our plays, though. We just have a mountain of creatures on the ground, which doesn't change anything. All right. Astral Wingspan. If I convoke a bunch, if I convoke this out, I could top deck a basic and play a Tolly this turn as well, which might be a little greedy because I'm holding up less blockers, but don't need to block that much on the ground. I guess now they do have 2 3/3s, so I kind of do need to block a little more on ground than before, but I'm going full greed. If I die to greed, so be it. Guess I'll make Frontliner a good flying blocker by going tap, tap, tap. I get another 1/1 from playing this, so I do still hold up a few blockers on the ground for sure. Alright, I didn't hit the land, so that's gonna blow up in my face. Again, not that badly. But yeah, I did like giving myself the opportunity to top deck land and immediately drop a Tolly there. Alright, there we go. Land a Tolly. Oh, did they hit the counterspell in that meantime? No, they did not. Alright, Atali, what are we finding this time? Spin the Wheel of Chaos. Enters the battlefield, exile target on-land permanent opponent controls that isn't exactly 2 colors. That's strong. And draw 2 cards is fine. Oh my god, look at all the prowess! Look at all the monks! That's 12 triggers on the stack. Good grief. I think I exile a flyer, to be frank. What happens when I flip this? Get a 5/5. Whenever I cast a spell that's 2 colors, look at the top 6, reveal a card that's 2 colors, put it into my hand. I think as long as I just hold up blockers, I just can't lose. I guess I can send these 3/3 prowess creatures in. I still have 1,000 blockers. I just need to hold the flyer back, I think. Just lock in the 5/5, or do I just send it their face? Maybe I send these 3/3s at their face. But the cards that get better attacking battles, I send at the battle, and then I hold everything else back to be safe. That seems fine. Wait, does Invasion of Ravnica get cast on their side? I actually don't know how this works. No, it's cast on... Okay, good. I thought that they designed battles that way, that you choose, even if you're casting your opponent's battle, you're casting it under your control because you gave it to them and then you flipped it. Glad to learn that and know for sure. So they're down to 2 life now. They basically have to just kill us here or they're dead. And they're going to scoop them up. They're just dead. A Tolly Primal Conqueror is going to just conquer the entire metagame. This card was responsible for the vast majority of our wins, if not every single one. I'm actually not certain. It might have been every single win, but we drew a lot of cards in most of these games thanks to Meeting of Minds, Artistic Refusal, Invasion of Rin, all that kind of card draw really helped us draw Atali more consistently. And of course, we had our double green invasion that let us tutor out the Atali from our deck to play it more often there as well. So this deck was just super consistent and super consistently busted, and it's going to get a 7-1 run today. We were definitely the villains. Pretty happy with our green splash. There was that one game where I was just definitely dead if I just didn't top deck a forest, and we just slam dunk top deck the forest, get 2 8/8s out of the Glistening Dawn, Again, I think Glistening Dawn was completely busted when we could cast it, and the Ikoria was as well, to the point where they were strong enough to justify the times when we couldn't hit the double green off of the triple Surveyor and 3 green sources. So yeah, I mean, if we had like a little more treasure tokens or a little more dual lands, then I'd be really confident about the green splash, but we got lucky today and the splash worked out. It could have worked much more poorly for us. We could have just never cast any of these green cards, but today, everything worked excellently. Everything in the deck was a great, great card and a huge overperformer. I think everything was pivotal in at least one victory. Yes, technically we were always ending the game by winning with a Tali, but the other cards helping us get us there were consistently putting in work. The Captive Weird exiling us an additional card, the Reinforcements consistently being good for Convoke and trading off into early blockers, the Frontliners just trading off early, the Barals making some spells cheaper. Invasion of Kaladesh didn't really do anything. I don't remember this being very iconic or powerful in any of our games, but Skittering Surveyor, absolute MVP. Again, tapping for Convoke and fixing our mana for our white splash and our double green splash, and helping draw more lands to make it to the 7 mana that we need for a Tali. The Strobe Knight was phenomenal as well, again finding those lines to be able to convoke and have 2 spells cast in 1 turn to spit out some knights. Invasion of Segovia was decent. I don't think we ever actually flipped it, but just getting those 2 bodies off the 1 card was great. Monastery Mentor off the splash was great, getting a lot of monk tokens, potentially getting a lot of chump blockers is most of what that did. War Train Slasher was always just a massive creature whenever we wanted to send it at a battle. Invasion of Vryn, Meeting of Minds, digging us deep into our library, trying to find our bombs was great, as were the 2 artistic refusals to do the same thing while potentially countering a spell. Astral Wingspan won us that game where we stole our opponent's 4/4 that reanimates a creature when it hits them, just because we could put it on that, give it flying, and guarantee that we got in to bring back the Atali. So even the Astral Wingspan that was a little weird in the deck ended up playing incredibly in that one game and being pivotal in that victory. Temporal Cleansing was fine interaction because our deck was super low on it, so just being able to slow them down a bit was very helpful. Atali, obviously, probably the strongest rare in the set. I don't know. This thing was absolutely absurd. And then Invasion of Ikoria to just be our second copy of Atali. Even a 9 mana Atali is completely busted, so the double green and 7 generic mana Atali was also, turns out, a pretty great card. And of course, Glistening Dawn, winning a couple of those games as well, giving us 2 8/8s and 2 10/10s multiple times. Phenomenal, phenomenal deck, absolutely explosive, just drafting some powerful bomb rares and the support we need to draw them and cast them frequently. Great, great stuff from this deck. A 7-1 run, but that's gonna end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons for supporting the channel, as well as you for watching this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to hang out with me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.